Nathalie?
Hello, good evening. Yes, I'm Nathalie. I'm calling from the south of France. I'm very touched to speak to you, John, and Soren, and I would like to thank you for all what you have done. I'm a bit emotional because I've been really very touched by this community and all these teachings, and it's been very foundational for me. Particularly, I'm now in teachers training to become an NBSR teacher. And my general question for you, John, was to any advice you could give me for this teaching, NBSR teaching, and also around the point of sometimes lacking confidence.
Lacking confidence?
Confidence, and also what can mindfulness bring in terms of comparison with others?
When you say comparison with others, what do you mean?
When you think someone is better than you, or
Oh,
doing
I see.
things
Comparing
better.
minds. Okay. Well, Nathalie, bonsoir, and thank you. I think the most important thing with MBSR, this may sound a little strange, but if you're hoping to really, really, really teach what MBSR truly is, then you have to find the curriculum that goes beyond the curriculum. Okay, because whatever you think MBSR is about in terms of structure, that's only the kind of, sort of rudiments of what it really is, which is your relationship and all the relationships in the room. So it's like really trusting that the people who come to you for the training of MBSR, they have everything they need already. And you're not going to try to change them or improve them, but give them access to the meditation practice in such a way that the life will become their teacher. And for life, not just for the 8 weeks of MBSR. So that said, you have to understand the curriculum in a deep way. You also have to understand where these meditation practices come from. So that means really familiarizing yourself with some of the basic practices and literature in the various traditions that are foundational to MBSR, which include sort of the Satipatthana Sutra, for instance, and then the Heart Sutra in the Mahayana tradition. And just to understand that I didn't make this stuff up. This is like, really ancient wisdom. And you need to have some degree of familiarity, if not confidence, with the non-dual elements of practice, the non-instrumental elements that don't force things to be a certain way to get people to be better than they already are, because that's a kind of model that can't ever be better than they already are. And healing really comes out of that. And I know in French, you really can't make the same kind of distinction that we make in English between healing and curing. So they're both guérir or guérison. But in English, there's a big difference between curing, which means like getting people back to where they were before whatever happened, which is like fixing, and healing, which is really a process of coming to terms with things as they are. So that's what we mean by healing or guérison. So aside from that, trusting that you don't have to be really good at it, you just have to be good enough. And if you don't know what good enough is, ask yourself, and keep in mind that you're going to learn far more from the people in your MBSR class than they're going to learn from you. And if you maintain that kind of open-hearted spaciousness and humility, the whole thing will unfold naturally, and they'll be incredibly grateful to you, and you'll think you haven't done a thing. Does that make any sense to you?
Yes. Thank you very much, John. I appreciate it.
Thanks for that question. It's a very important question. And you also brought up lacking a certain confidence.
Yeah.
That's really great. So your awareness of your lacking confidence probably doesn't lack any confidence at all if you investigate it. But I'm much more concerned about people who are overconfident than about people who are lacking in confidence. It's an enormous, audacious thing to set yourself up as a mindfulness teacher. It's like an impossible job. So if you're not feeling a little bit lacking in confidence, then you would scare me because then you'd be overconfident and thinking, I can do this. But the problem is the I, not the teaching of MBSR. So if you make a big story about how great MBSR is or how great you are because you're teaching MBSR, that's really a disease, and really good to notice in yourself when it comes up and just be as spacious and as transparent as possible. And as I said, the people in your classes will teach you everything you need to know.
I'm sure.
Yeah. And all you have to do is be willing to listen and to welcome it. And when you don't know something, say you don't know.
Yeah.
Don't pretend that you know more than you do, because they'll know that you're pretending in a second. And it's a betrayal of yourself. I mean, we're all like just beginners and we're just sort of learning, and and to come to it with what Suzuki called beginner's mind, that is what Zen mind is all about. Zen mind is beginner's mind.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. Thank you for all you do and for the love that is coming